Hello and welcome back to the Crabbie's Changing Room Chat. We're having a look back, I should say, to the 1999 game against Ireland. John Manson, I believe you've had a bit of a dig into the result, have you?
Well, I need to be brutally honest right for the kick-off here. I thought we were doing the France game, 99, so I sat up last night and watched the France 99 game and took lots of details there. It was a great game, by the way. It was a wonderful game of rugby. But apparently we're looking at the Ireland game today of that year. So I'm a bit light on stats, but I'm going to do my best here to try and dig in.
It's a bit like normal, that big man.
It's not a great start, Kenny boy. You better fill in here, Kenny.
Well, do you know what? Interestingly, of all the games that season, it's the one game I can't really remember apart from a couple of little things. Because in the 90s, we never lost to Ireland. I think we had a draw once. So you never played against Ireland thinking we're going to lose. You always thought we'll beat them and who we playing next. Not so much who we're playing next, but it was always a pretty confident we'd win that game. So that whole season, it's the one game when you said to me about, I was thinking, Ireland, did we play them at home? Did we play them away? I couldn't remember much from the game.
Yeah, well, I should have said at the very beginning, we are joined by the 72 cap legend that is Kenny Logan to give us a bit of a look back and his insight into the game as well, because John's had a look at their own game.
Well, he is a prop, you've got to remember that.
Yes, a prop.
We've got to give the guy the benefit of the
doubt. What were your recollection of the team itself, Kenny, when you look through the team? We've already done a 99 game. We had Big Scott Murray on talking about the France game, funnily enough, John. But when you look at
what's that, John?
When you look at the team that was alongside you, you had Gary at 9, you had Gregor Townsend at 10, Tatey at 12. Tatey at 13, John Leslie inside him at 12, and then yourself, Cammy Murray, and Glenn Metcalf made up the back line. Memories of that team, or the characters within that group?
Well, I mean, I think the memory of that whole season, a lot changed from when Gregor came to 10 because Hodgie broke his leg against Wales. So, at the start, Tatey was on the bench and Tatey came in, and Tatey actually gave the team a lot more width to a certain degree, even though you think Gregor would give you that. But Gregor was the best year he played for Scotland at 10. So he really controlled the game. But John Leslie was a key in the midfield. A lot was played around him, and he had a storming when he started against Wales. But again, Ireland, he just controlled it with the midfield. Him and Tatey worked really well together. And the back three, luckily, Glenn Metcalf, I think as a winger, you want to play with fullback, like Hoggy or something like that, who can have a go. No disrespect to some other fullbacks who just want to kick the ball all day. But when you passed the ball to Glenn and you went round Glenn, there was something going to happen. He was either have a go or you're going to have to go back and dig him out of a hole. One of the two, but you knew you would have to do something. So I think the beauty about that back division that season was they were all pretty big names. John Leslie was a big name in New Zealand, and he'd come over here through his granddad, or great uncle, I can't remember what it was, but he'd made an impact, and his brother, to be fair. His brother scored a couple of tries in that tournament. I think he scored some. Did he score some against Ireland?
He
scored a couple against France. The game that I watched last night.
Kenny Murray scored a couple. I think and the back three really worked well all season. And but the characters, Gary Armstrong clearly, and Doddy. Doddy was in and out of the team, but Doddy was certainly a character. Night before games and stuff like that, he would, you imagine a night before a test match, you've all been there, and everybody's calm, taking it easy. Gary's going around getting everybody's rooms, mostly management, and putting cling film on the toilets, boot polish around the toilet, and then biscuits in their beds, because the management may have a couple of beers on the Friday night because they get to sleep a bit easier. And in the morning they come down, they've got boot polish on the backside. And I remember John Rudd, he had to phone up the janitor at the room service and say, look, there's something wrong with my toilet. I've tried pinning it 3 times now, but it keeps bouncing off.
Oh, no.
So Gary had been in the room, and of course in the morning, Jim's saying, "Who's been in my room?" And Gary stands up, "Who is it? I need an honesty call here, lads." And we're all looking, going, "Can't believe it." He's throwing it back at us. But he was, and that was part of it. You know, I think what we had that year was, and certainly through that season, was team spirit. Everybody got on well with each other, and we didn't give each other too much stick. But when it was needed to be said, it was said. I mean, I can't remember, but it was one of the kicks against Ireland. And Ireland started goal kicking that year, so you know, to go from your club then straight to international goal kicking at 27 or 28 years old was a bit the other way around. But I'm doing a kick from, I was 30, 40 yards out, and they was the ones I was comfortable with, the big long ones. And just before I'm going to kick it, Tatey comes up, and with a word of a lie says, "Make sure it goes dead because you'll probably miss it." And I looked at him, and I just thought to myself, well, I can't really say it live, but anyway, I battered it between the posts. And I remember running off going, "You ever say that to me again?" He goes, "It worked though, didn't it?"
There was another story came out. It's actually a game that John looked at, but Big Scott Murray was putting the boot into you a wee bit about a conversion, I think it was, as opposed to a penalty against France.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
I thought we were talking about the Ireland game.
Was it that? You caught yourself? Caught yourself?
No, can we talk about the France game for a minute?
Yeah, I'll tell you about the France game. So I'm kicking really well all game from everywhere. And, you know, the joke at Wasps, when I scored a try, when they scored a try, anyone near the post, they would run to the right and the left of the post because they knew I didn't like in the front of the post. But the Scotland boys didn't realise it. They kept going to the post, and I'm going, "Oh my God." So anyway, they're on the post. And I had a routine where I'd look at the ball and I would look up and find something beyond the post and imagine drawing a line or a piece of string right back to the ball. And I'd imagine the whole thing going straight through. And as I look up, they've got these massive screens in France. I mean, huge TVs. And I look up and I see myself. And I sort of look back down, going, "Don't look at yourself. Don't look at yourself." And I go back up, then I wink at myself. And then as I come back down, I'm thinking, why did I do that for? What did I do that for? And as I kick the ball, I look up, and as it comes off the crossbar, not the crossbar, the upright, and as it's coming across, I'm turning around and I look to the next screen. And what Alan was saying on the screen was clearly not footage for TV. It was all the wrong words. And then he came up to me and said, "If we lose this game by 3 points, I'm going to kill you." And I said, "Well, that's 2 points for a start." I said, "Secondly, we're 20 points up. What's the chances?" Yeah, but I did. It was funny the kick that, you know, the whole. It's so different now being a goal kicker. I remember I tried to get a goal kicking coach up, who was Gareth Rees, and they said to me, "No, you can't do that. You don't need a goal kicking coach." I went, "I do," because he says, "What do you need a goal kicking coach?" And 2 minutes later, Jim's going, "Where's the line-out coach? Where's the line-out thrown-in specialist?" I'm like, "Hang on, you've got a line-out specialist, but you're not a goal-kicking coach." But, you know, Jim was more important about the line-out and the scrum.
You mentioned John Rudd earlier. We had John Rudd on last week. And a lot of people know him as a player, Kenny, but not many as a coach. And you mentioned the back division there, which with Snowy and Tatey and Leslie and Tooney at his best was a great backline. How much impact did Rudd have on that backline as a coach?
You know, I tell you, Rudd was really good in the sense that, and a bit like Geach is with the Lions, he sort of like really said to us, "Look, boys, how do you want to play this game? Because there's no point in me telling you what I think you should play it, because you might not enjoy it. Or what game do you want to enjoy playing?" And we all sort of said, "Look, we want to move the ball. The back three want to get the ball. We want to get it to 13 as much as possible." And that was because Gregor was at 13. And then Gregor, you know, at the start of the campaign, we sort of, that season, we decided, let's get the ball a bit further out. If Gregor's playing 13, he's the best ball player, let's get him out there and let's use him. And that, from a back three's position point of view, it's brilliant to hear the fact that we want to get the ball out there. So everybody bought into that. And then with Gregor moving to 13 and Tatey coming in, and actually Tatey was brilliant at it because Tatey held so many people around him because his rugby league background, and that season was a lot of rugby league guys like Gibbsy and Bateman, and there was a lot of guys, and all playing the centres. And Tatey definitely came out as one of the best centres that season. So Rod was good at listening to us, and anytime we sort of tried to be a bit more experimental, he sort of said, "Boys, remember, keep the simple things and keep them right, keep doing them right." And if you look at the All Blacks, you look at the best coaches, you do the simple things right, you can build on it. And I suppose sometimes we did get a bit frustrated because we got beyond ourselves a little bit because we wanted to do more. And he was the one saying, stick to what you said at the start of the season. And I think we ended up scoring 16 tries that season, only in 4 games. So that was probably, I think it was the most, I can't remember, I think it was the most Six Nations team had scored, or certainly Scotland had scored. So there was no point after 2 or 3 games, let's try and change it. But, Rod definitely was a calming insight to us. And actually, he probably helped Gregor a lot, because Gregor was maybe, sometimes he'd want to run it too much and he needed to be a bit more controlled. And you give a lot of respect to John Leslie, actually, because he really helped Gregor. Gregor played, I would say, his best rugby next to John Leslie and Tatey.
One guy that was up front, not that you would have taken too much to do with the forwards back then, but one man that was in the pack on that day, a good friend of yours, then Tom Smith. Now, Tommy's going through some challenging times at the moment, and I know you're doing an awful lot. You and a lot of the boys that are in that team, everybody rallying round with the rugby community. Have you chatted to Tom recently?
I spoke to him. I left a message last week. I spoke about a week ago. He's doing really well. I think the good thing is he's not. He's in hospital, but he's getting looked after, and he gets home, and he's contained, and nobody's seeing him, and he's as Pump will know, John will know, his attitude to everything he does is at the highest level. I remember when he first got told about the cancer, said it wasn't looking good. His first thing is, right, I'm going to smash this. How do I smash it? And he's had I think he's on about 20 rounds of chemo, which is quite unheard of at the level he's taken. He's getting full blast, and he's given it a good shot. But he was another character in that team who didn't say too much, but by Joe, he put it in. He was probably one of the best props we've seen. For a small man, the strength, and in training. And I remember once that season, I accidentally elbowed him in the face, and of course Tom thinks I meant it. I don't think I did, but anyway. So for the whole session, he's chasing me. So I just had to stop and get punched, because I thought, if I don't do it now, I'm going to get punched from sleeping, or punched, the physio just come in and hit me and go, you won't do that again. So he just got me in the deck and gave me a couple, and I went, cheers, Tom. But he didn't take any prisoners. And then Bullock was another one. I'll tell you that season, who again, somebody was a British Lion, was Paul Burnell, who had been out in the wilderness for a while. He came in tight head, and he had a storming season. And I think when you look through that team, there's a lot of players who just at the right time just performed and did their own jobs really, really well.
Well, Kenny, thanks very much for coming on. The game on Friday night, the Ireland game, is another brilliant example of how good that squad was. That squad you played a massive part in. Thank you very much for giving your insight. And John, thanks very much for doing all the research into the game as well. Fantastic. Hope you enjoyed the Ireland game on Friday night.
Thanks for the research for the France game. Finger on the
pleasure.
pulse.
It's my pleasure.
Cheers, Kenny.
Cheers, boys.